You know, after you didn't listen to my advice and telling you don't text him back. All right, how do you get it back?
And don't forget, we're having 40% off all of our courses using the coupon code ALEX. I mean, mindful. And using the coupon code ALEX for all of my coaching calls, you get 15% off only this month.
So this is what we're going to talk about today, all right? And this is something that's very simple, because if it was because you were needy, then there's a very simple solution. A lot of people get mad at me when I say there's a simple solution for your problem, because they feel angry. They're like, why is it so simple? Isn't it supposed to be complicated? No. When it becomes complicated, that means there's no order. There's a lack of order. There's a lack of focus. A lot of time for the most complicated problems requires very simple solutions. The most complicated problem in the world is selfishness and greediness, and the easiest solution is going within yourself. But because of that, we don't do that. We just look on the outside, and so that's where politics and complications come into play. But politicians with high levels of self-awareness and of empathy, and whose values are based on based on intrinsic motivation rather than extrinsic motivation, we usually yield to a better world. But I'm coming out of the subject. But let's talk about this. How do you get a guy back after you pushed him away with your neediness? So let's say you're talking to a guy and you met him and you were a little bit too needy with him, right? By the way, if anyone takes notes, let me know. And if you took notes, please send it to me, okay? Let me know. So if you got with a guy and he liked you and all that sort of stuff, but you were too needy and that pushed him away, this is what you could do, okay?
By the way, as you watch this video, become aware of your breath. Notice your breath, right? And just keep some peripheral awareness on the breath as you watch this video.
The first thing you have to do is step away from his life for a few weeks to maybe a few months. Why? Because you got to reset his perception of you. He already has a perception of you being needy. So what you have to do then is to reset his clock, reset his perception of you by making space. That's what happens a lot with our friends. You know, when you have a friend of yours and you haven't seen your friend for a long time, right after you see him, you got to get acquainted. You feeling him back. You're like, how is he? Is he the same person that I left before? Right? And then you guys are back to being friends. But if you notice that he changed, there's a new dynamic, a new way of communicating. The eye contact is not the same. Everything's not the same, right? So as humans, we're never ending flux of change. We're very dynamic by nature. That's why we got our brain has neuroplasticity for that same reason. We got to adapt to the environment. That's why we proliferated throughout all of these years. So when you talk, you got to take a break, at least a month or more than a month. Why? Because he has to forget how you were. He has to forget how you are. Like, you know those friends that we say to ourselves, man, why am I not friends with him? And then you see him again, then you're like, oh, fuck, wait a minute. That's why I'm not his friend. When you in that space is when you forget how he is. You know, it's kind of like when you go back to an ex. You're like, oh, why did I break up with you? 10 minutes later, oh, fuck, no wonder. That's why I broke up with him. Like, that's what happens. So the same thing with you. You want to give him that space so he forgets you, right? But during that space, you want to continue. You want to be on his Facebook, all right? If you guys are on social media together, you want to stay on his. You want to be continue being his social media buddy, right? But then after a couple months, it doesn't matter. It depends on how needy you were. After a couple months, I would say 2 or 3 months or something like that, right? You contact them again. All right, you contact them again, or he'll contact you. But what I recommend though is to start liking his statuses. Start liking a few of his statuses, but within that moment of you being away as well. And I always say this: get in shape. Work on your physicals. Work on getting physically better. You have to, because what you want to do is he wants to remember you. But then when he sees you again, he needs to say, "Oh fuck, wait a minute, you got better looking." You know, and the easiest way to do this is to actually get in shape. Okay, so I'm not fat shaming. Oh my God, he's telling us to be healthy. How dare he? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying get in shape, motherfucker. All right, get in that gym. All right.
Hey, don't let all of your attention be absorbed by the video. Notice the breath.
It's not bad. It's not gonna kill you. All right, it's not gonna kill you. So when you do that, so he returns, he's gonna be like, oh fuck, damn girl, you got better looking. You know, and that's what you want, right? So then what you want to do then is to, once that happens, you want to like his status. You want to start posting pictures of you looking all sexy and shit, right? But don't contact him, but just like his statuses once or twice a week. Just like it, right? You're going to get on his radar. And he's going to start noticing yourself, right? He's going to start seeing you. And what may happen is that if you actually push them away because of your neediness, and you're posting pictures that you got better looking, there's gonna be a moment or maybe a time of the day when he's gonna be a little horny, when he's gonna be a little needy for something, for some relief, right? And because you were liking his statuses and you were posting pictures and you got better looking, all right, and he knows he got you because you were needy, so he's like, this is easy, he's gonna contact you. All right, that's what's gonna happen. He may contact you or he may not contact you, but that's not the point. So when he contacts you, right, you want to act like nothing happened. You want to act normal, right? You want to say, how have you been? Talk to him like you're talking to an old friend. All right, talk to him like you're talking to an old friend, and then ask him during the midst of the conversation. Ask him, by the way, are you always busy? Just ask him, are you always busy? Why? Because this is gonna give you the buy-in temperature. What is he doing? Is he interested in you or is he not interested in you? Why does this work? Because when you ask someone, are you always busy? If somebody likes you, they're going to say yes, but, or they're going to say, no, I'm not always busy. But if someone doesn't like you, no one's going to say, oh, yeah, man, I got to go meet with the embassy of North Korea. I got to go to, I'm busy, motherfucker, I'm busy. All right? He's going to say he's busy, and he's not going to give you any space. That's what happens. You girls do that too. I found out because the girls that liked me were never busy, or were busy, they gave me a space between that busyness. The girls that don't like me are always busy. I'm like, girl, look, I know you're not saving the world, all right? So some of these girls were acting like they were like I always say, they were acting like they were like the ambassador to the United Nations, yo. So busy. I'm like, yo, you better be saving the world. Yo, man.
Hey, I hope you have not forgotten to notice your breath.
But they were just bullshitting. You see, when you don't like someone, you're gonna procrastinate meeting them, and that's the case. So when you ask him, Davey, and he says yes, but or no, you're gonna say, oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay, and then just ask him. So, hey, what are you doing this week? What are you doing this? What are you doing this? I'm going to my friends. I'm going to go to a concert with my friends. Maybe you should tag along. Maybe, all right. That's the way to do it, right? And for the most part, when that happens, they're usually going to either say yes, right? Or if you don't do that, if you're not the one that asks, are you always busy? And you guys having like a casual conversation, he's going to be the one that actually, he's going to be the one that begins he's going to initiate asking you out. That's what's going to happen. But it has to start with you giving him space. Initially, at the end of the day, you gotta back off for a good while so that he could restart his system and so that he could forget how you were in person. All right, and that happens over time. People forget the emotional imprint that you left on them, right? So when you're meeting him, when you're talking to him, let's say you manage to take him out on a date, right? And you guys are talking and whatnot. Don't talk about how you, how can I say this? Talk about how he changed. Say, but you changed. You look a little different. Like, no, what do you mean different? No, you got older. You looking, little, oh, fuck, look, you're getting a little older there, huh? Like, just talk about how he changed, all right? And then talk about how your taste in men changed. Talk about how you don't like his type no more. Now, you don't have to say that you don't like his, like, but you don't have to say, like, I don't like your type no more. No. If he looks like me, say, nah, I'm just, talk about how you love guys that look like Leonardo DiCaprio. I always bring this up, but this is a way to bring up needing his heart. But like, nah, man, I just literally just bring up a topic about a celebrity that looks the total opposite of how he looks and say you started liking guys like him. You see me, I don't know, just got in crush. Guys look like Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know why. It makes him an addict. He's like, what the fuck, bitch? I don't look like him. What the hell's your problem? I thought I was your type, right? And so that insinuates that he lacks it. But the key to this is that when you talk about, oh man, I don't know why, but as soon as I started watching Titanic, I just have a crush on guys that look like Leonardo DiCaprio. Change the topic. Change the topic immediately. Don't even elaborate, but just change the topic. Change the topic, because that's going to permeate his unconscious. It's more like an unconscious jab, and he's going to think about it for the rest of the night at an unconscious level. It's kind of like hanging out with someone and knowing that your parents, and knowing that you got to do your work, knowing that you got a paper due in a couple hours, but you're focused on talking on the present moment. But deep down in your mind, you know you got to do something. It's not prevalent, but it's there. It's subtle. That's gonna be the same thing with that insecurity that you're gonna be jabbing at. It's gonna be a subtle insecurity.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have two nieces, one is 19 and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're gonna be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man, Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one will teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women on power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship. And this, a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you could read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. I'm closing the channel.